Run, everybody, run.
Go, start.
When Gazelle wake up, run.
Watch how Islam Makhachev trains while he's preparing for his fight to become double champion.
Islam Makhachev isn't just training for another fight, he seems to be preparing for a statement. Ahead of his showdown with Jack Della Maddalena, the intensity is different this time. Sharper drills, relentless sparring, and a fire in his eyes for the second belt that even his colleagues can't ignore. They say he's reaching new levels, and from what the cameras show, they might be right as his training keeps progressing to new levels, which shows to be shaping a harder, stronger man.
And when you look at Makhachev, first of all, Makhachev is a monster. He's a monster. You do not want to fight that guy when he's gone through a full camp in Dagestan, ready to go. And he had adjusted to Volkanovski's style. He had a completely good solution. He had a perfect solution. The kicks to the body. He was throwing those kicks to the body. He set up that head kick. He took away Volkanovski's leg kicks from the outside. He took away all the shit that Volkanovski was doing to him that was troubling him in the first fight, and he put tighter squeeze into it. Well, I think his squeeze is just phenomenal. Because if you see the way he tapped Drew Dober too, the same sort of situation, he gets guys on the ground and they just, I think it's just a next level power and squeeze. Some dudes just have next level squeeze and next level like grappling power, and he's developed that his whole life. He's also enormous for 155.
And of course, Islam will teach his teammates skills he is famous for, as he always does, and this time it's his deadly inside leg trip with lightning fast precision, the kind that has opponents thinking twice. Jack Della Maddalena might be studying this just to stay one step ahead, but that is if he can.
By the looks of things, there we go.
To the side of his chest, now in outside reach.
Makhachev seems to be a man of finesse, and he is digging deep, honing even the smallest details, training his wrists with relentless focus, leaving no part of his game untouched. This is the kind of grind that turns champions into legends, and this might just be what truly delivers that knockout punch.
Вперед тоже делай то же самое. Хорош.
Minute detailing and training requires a very sharp coach, and Islam suggested just as much by explaining that training under Khabib is no joke. There are no excuses, no shortcuts, and the grind never stops. He said it probably comes from the way Khabib was raised by his father, who pushed him relentlessly. Interestingly, Abdulmanap has since softened. The team could speak up if they were tired or wanted to adjust. But with Khabib, Islam admits there's no such thing, and once training starts, you push through. No questions asked.
I've seen you guys talking to recently about Coach Habib. Is he like a little too crazy in the gym now, pushing you guys?
Yeah, of course. Every day kill everybody. Not excuse, always training.
What makes him so crazy?
It's not crazy, you know. This is like what his father did. But with his father, we can sit and talk, hey, coach, today I'm a little bit tired. Can I do something else? But with Khabib, it's not working.
Now let's look into what Islam had to say about his opponent. When asked about Jack Della Maddalena, Islam answered with honesty without any trash talk, calling him a tough fight and giving credit to how far he's come. He pointed out that Jack struggled with wrestling early in his UFC run, but has since leveled up by grinding with top wrestlers and grapplers. That work shows, and Islam acknowledged it's made Jack a dangerous, well-rounded champion, and this might just be the reason why he is training so relentlessly by getting into the nitty-gritty and refining his moves in every aspect.
I know you talked a little bit about Jack. What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But
having seen his training and the reasoning behind why he is training so tirelessly, let's look into what experts have to say. Starting off with Joe Rogan, who couldn't help but be dazed by Islam Makhachev's physique, joking that he looks like a Michelangelo sculpture. When he pressed Belal Muhammad on Islam's usual weight, Belal guessed around 185 to 190 pounds. Rogan, however, absolutely can't believe that's the case. Being awestruck by his sheer size, Belal agreed, saying Islam's strength is unreal and that accounts for his pounds. He described the Dagestani camp's grind, daily runs, endless grappling, and Rogan pointed out how that work shows. Islam's power on the feet has become a weapon, and his striking has now reached an elite level.
Islam looked like Michelangelo sculpted him.
He's so big. He's so strong, so good.
What does he weigh? What does he weigh like normal? Like right now, if you called him up, what do you weigh, brother? What would he say?
I would say at least minimum like 185, 190.
Get the fuck out of here. He's 210 pounds.
No, Islam.
That guy's 250 pounds.
His strength feels like 250 pounds.
That's what I hear.
But that's the thing with them. They're always training. No matter what they're doing, they always at least run once a day or grapple.
So he's losing roughly 30 pounds to make 55?
From the start, I would say. Yeah.
He's big. That's about as big as you can get and keep doing that. That's big.
Yeah. And he's tall. He's lengthy and he has power. Like, he could go up to 70 easily, I think.
Yeah, easily. He's got real power now on his feet, which is a new addition over the last, ex-Oliveira. He had Oliveira in real trouble.
When talking about his earlier wins, both Jamahal Hill and Joe Rogan admitted they didn't see Islam Makhachev beating Charles Oliveira the way he did. Analyzing his MMA play, Rogan noted how Islam hurt him on the feet first, while Hill pointed out that he then followed Oliveira into his supposed safe zone and dominated there too. Hill broke down the finish, explaining how Islam's choke was different from the usual head and arm triangle, locking higher on the forearm for crushing pressure. Rogan added that his squeeze is remarkable, comparing it to the way he forced Drew Dober to tap. For them, it's proof of Islam's next-level power, grappling, and sheer size. Now, this prowess in his chokehold can be seen in his recent training videos.
How Islam beat Charles. Like, nobody saw that coming.
I thought it was going to be a tough fight.
I thought it was going to be a tough fight, too. And then
he hurt him on the feet?
On the feet.
On the feet?
Beat him standing and then followed him to where everybody thought he would be safe at. I seen a clip of that choke that he did. I know why that choke was so tight now. So, because most people finish a head and arm triangle, they go into the elbow.
The bicep, yeah.
He went
up higher.
He went up higher and then locked it here.
Tighter squeeze into it. Well, I think his squeeze is just phenomenal. Like, because if you see the way he tapped Drew Dober too, the same sort of situation, he gets guys on the ground and I think it's just a next level power and squeeze. Some dudes just have next level squeeze and next level like grappling power, and he's developed that his whole life. He's also enormous for 155.
Coach Javier Mendez opened up about the kind of punishment Islam Makhachev puts himself through in camp. He explained that Islam had been sparring with heavyweights who weren't taking it easy. They were going hard, throwing with real power. Some of these training partners weighed around 230 pounds, while Islam was closer to 180, a massive difference that worried his coach. Javier admitted he didn't like seeing it because taking clean shots from men that size can do real damage. Still, he said it's a testament to Islam's toughness, discipline, and willingness to prepare in the harshest way possible. And this shows that Islam is ready to take on fighters who are bigger than him.
When I was in Dagestan, I'm watching them and he's sparring with heavyweights. And they were going hard. They were trying to kill him. It's the fact that the guy was 230 pounds and Islam's 180. So I didn't want Islam to get hit. When you get hit with someone that's a big heavyweight that's got that kind of weight and ferocity, it's killing brain cells. I didn't like it.
A testament to this readiness comes from Moicano, a man Islam has fought, who pushed back on the narrative about Islam Makhachev's size, saying that when they fought, he was actually the heavier man at 181 to Islam's 178. He admitted he didn't feel overwhelming pressure, but noted Islam might have allowed him to stand up before capitalizing on a scramble. That's when Makhachev locked in a brutally tight position that left Moicano impressed. No excuses, he added. Islam is simply a great fighter.
Everybody talks about how heavy he is, but in reality, I was heavier than him. If you look the numbers, I was 181 and he was 178. I didn't feel he that strong at all, at least on the pressure, But like you say, I cannot say that because I feel like he let me get up. I rushed trying to get on my feet, and unfortunately, he got a very tight position. I was very impressed. No excuse, Islam is a great fighter, but I just feel frustrated about myself making such a amateur mistake, you know.
Again on Islam's weight, Dustin Poirier believes Islam Makhachev will have no trouble moving up to welterweight, calling him a naturally big lightweight who will settle into 170 comfortably. He even predicted Islam will become champion there. Poirier said the key to the opening exchanges is how well Jack Della Maddalena can defend takedowns, stay off the cage, and avoid being grounded early. He admitted it's tough to call since JDM is big, athletic, and dangerous, but that's exactly what makes the fight so exciting.
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He's going to be, he could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Fight might not be official yet, but Ali Abdelaziz keeps it professional as the UFC calls the shots, not him. What he is sure about, though, is that by the end of the year, Australia won't be holding a UFC belt anymore. However, he gives Maddalena respect, calling him a dangerous test. But he doubles down on his fighter in his eyes. Islam has every weapon needed to deal with Maddalena's striking and prove once again why he's the pound-for-pound king.
Hey, just speaking of Islam, are we any closer to getting an update on this fight happening in November? Like from everything that you're working on right now, is that still the likely time frame for this JDM fight, Madison Square Garden?
Listen, at the end of the day, the fight is done, but like I always respectful to the promotion. It is their job. They didn't announce the fight. But I know this, by end of the year, Australia gonna have no champions. I think Volk will remain the champion. I think Maddalena will lose. And I have a lot of respect for Maddalena. I think he's a very nice guy. I think he's a great fighter. I think, he's gonna be a very tough fight for Islam. But I believe Islam have all the tools to beat him. But in reality, it's a fight. It's a game of inches. Anything can happen.
Leon Edwards goes on to weigh in on the upcoming Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena clash as well, keeping his prediction measured but extremely cautious by calling it unpredictable. He said Jack is a good grappler and a bigger athlete, making him a real threat, but he's anticipating how it unfolds. Both fighters, Leon noted, will bring skill, strategy, and intensity, promising a high-level, action-packed clash.
What's your prediction for JDM and
Islam?
Makhachev?
I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know. I think JDM is good scrambling. He's a bigger guy. I don't know. I'm excited to see.
Is Islam big enough? Is he going to be able to?
Let's see.
Unlike Leon, Max Holloway had more to say on what Islam versus JDM will actually look like, going on to say that Islam Makhachev will handle moving up to welterweight with no problem. He's the #1, 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world for a reason. Still, Jack Della Maddalena is no pushover. One of the best fighters in the world, he's set to make it a real test.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, He's the #2 pound-for-pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
An interesting take comes from Javier Mendez, who doesn't play the prediction game. He treats every fight like it's going 5 hard rounds, because the moment you expect an easy submission or early finish and it doesn't happen, focus slips, and in a fight that can be fatal. And this is the philosophy he coaches with.
Islam versus JDM. How do you think the fight plays out?
I'm always the same. I never change. I'm ready for a 5-round war, and the reason being is if I go out, say, oh, he's going to submit him or he's going to dominate him, but then the fight happens and no submission, no domination, then my train of thought goes away and I forgot to be engaged in the fight because I thought about, oh, okay, we're not going to submit him. But that little thought, to me, is something that I can't afford.
He compares it to driving on the freeway. Lose concentration for even a second and you crash. That's why he stays locked in from the opening bell to the final horn, making sure neither he nor Islam ever drifts from what's unfolding right in front of them.
Like, for instance, if you think about if you're driving in the freeway and you lose track and you look behind and all of a sudden you look ahead, you've just wrecked because you weren't paying attention. So I kind of look at it like that. I need to be engaged at all times and look at the fights of what's going on in front of me. So if I look at,
you know, oh, he should have finished them in the second round and he didn't. Then I kept thinking, oh, we didn't finish in the second round. But then my thought pattern changes, you know? So I don't want to do that.
Now that we've seen how hard Islam Makhachev is grinding in camp and the level of detail in his training, the big question is clear. Does he have what it takes to stop Jack Della Maddalena? From cardio in the hills to sparring sessions that test his limits, Islam looks sharper than ever, but JDM is no easy puzzle, bringing size, power, and skill to the table. What do you think? Drop your thoughts on this matchup and don't forget to subscribe for more updates and insights.